The fan is on my feet. Anyone heard that as the very first sentence? You're welcome. I know, I'm just that awesome. Oh, forgot the most important part. Oh, I already did. Okay. We are live. Aloha Manga Club. It is your boy Lohali signing in, and I am super excited to welcome Andrew Tsundoku back onto the Club podcast. Wow, if I could talk, this would be so much more amazing. Andrew, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing excellent, man. Thanks for having me on.
Not a problem. We're excited, as always, to have you on with us. Jin, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good.
Just pretty good. I mean, that's
Pretty
okay.
good.
I mean, you got your short hair. You went in for your job interview. We're all excited, man. We're all holding
Right?
our breath.
They were supposed to call me today, didn't, but hopefully between tomorrow and Friday.
Just give them a phone call tomorrow morning.
They just have to process paperwork. Although, weirdest interview I ever went to. So I'm expecting to walk into a meeting or like a boardroom and like have to talk to all these people. I walk in and it's this one guy that I know, and he goes, fill out like these 5 things of paperwork. All it is sign and date. And then he hands me this piece of paper, and it's like an essay. He's like, what is like your best job that you did? How did you like incorporate teamwork? Da da da. And that was it. Like, it was an essay. I handed it back to him, and he goes, "That's it. Your interview's over." And I went, "I didn't even talk to anybody. What the hell?"
It doesn't even make it like that. Sounds like the worst interview ever. Like,
Dude.
welcome to the job interview. I need you to sit here for a half an hour in complete and utter silence and write an essay. That sounds like an actual nightmare that I've had when I was like younger.
Interview. Yeah.
Well, the weirdest interview that I ever, I guess we're just gonna do interview stories right now. The weirdest interview that I ever went on was actually, it was a double dose interview. I was applying for Menards, which is a chain of lumber yards here in the United States. I was applying to be in the back room, the shipping and receiving area, and I was also applying and interviewing for a job at Spencer's as just a seasonal sales associate. So I walk in there to Menards, and it is about 8:30, 8:45 in the morning, and the interviewer, Zach, his name was Zach, said, I really like everything that you're talking about. You're doing real good. I'm real proud of you. Like, I'd love to bring you on. And they offered me the job, and as we're walking in the door, he says, hey, I didn't want to say this during the interview because it might seem weird, but has anyone ever told you that you look like Mark Wahlberg? And this is back when I had much, much shorter hair, and I was like, no, I'm going to be completely honest with you. No one has ever said that to me in my life. And so I thought it was just a weird coincidence. I was like, this guy's crazy. Pshaw, pshaw. So I actually ended up driving to my next interview, same day at Spencer's, with my manager and good friend, Tim. And we were sitting there, and we had a whole conversation about Reddit and battle stations. He didn't even ask me any questions about how I would run anything. And he goes, hey, has anyone ever told you that you look like a specific actor? And I was like, uh-oh. No way this is going to happen twice. And he goes, yeah, you look like that guy from Shooter, Mark Wahlberg. And I was like, oh, boy. Oh, boy, I get the Mark Wahlberg twice. Strangest set of like interview coincidences ever. Andrew, you got any interview stories?
No, not really. I worked at a ice cream place. It was like I would just make soft serve ice cream. It was like queen. And the interview for that, they gave me a sheet of like basic add and subtract like questions, like what is 2 + 5? What is 7 - 3? And like I had to submit that, and I thought that was bizarre. A, because like that's a very weird thing to do, but then B, it's like I don't know who would fail such a thing, and so like they're screening for people that do not know like base 10 numbers, I guess, or something. That was a little bit weird, but
it's
no Mark Wahlberg stories for me.
I mean, I wish some of my job interviews would have asked me to do basic math, because that would have weeded me out right away, and I'd have been like, awesome, don't need to be here. Like, there's some jobs, if they hire me on the spot, I get a little worried.
Yeah, that's a bad sign.
How's everything here? Oh, if they say it's a very fast-paced environment, be very worried. And if you ask how long the longest working employee has been there or the average employee is there, if it's any time under like 3 to 4 months, you are in for an absolutely terrible ride. And you will be able to tell your children about it in the future. They'll be like, what was your worst job? Well, let me tell you about Cutco. Let me tell you about selling things in the aisles of Sam's Club and Costco.
Right.
It's definitely not cult related, 100%. Jin, do you have any like what was your number one weird job?
Oh man. My number one weird job. Probably working at a pizza place. We worked at this pizza place where like it was big enough for two people to like stand in the aisle butt to butt. And
Oh god.
yeah, so you can sit there and you're on the condiments table or whatever, which is just what we called it, but it was like toppings and everything. And so you would have two people like right beside each other doing it. And then you would have a person right behind you doing the dishes because like here's the bar and then the dishwasher is right below that, and I'm like, so it would be like three people like the little balls that are like
Oh yeah.
Newton's Cradle.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly how it felt like because you had one person here doing the dishwasher and the other two people here, and it was just bouncing back and forth between everybody because it was such a tight area.
Goodness.
The worst job that I actually have ever had to do. I try to pick my jobs very, very, very carefully. And I can usually stay with bad jobs for a while. Like 9 months is about my limit when I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I've used up all my energy. I've used up all my HP. I'm out. But the absolute worst job I ever did, it could have been an amazing job. So to set the scene, this is last year, actually right around this week. I had been jobless for almost a month due to quitting my last one in the spur of the moment. Not a great thing to do. Never do that if you don't have a plan. And I needed a job desperately, so I went down and applied for a job working as a yard boy for an equipment rental facility. So like bobcats, bulldozers, things like that is what we had to deal with, and we'd rent them out to contractors and just your regular old homeowner. You wouldn't think that would be a terrible job, except for the owner was insane, the front desk lady was lazy, and the mechanic was probably one of the worst human beings I've met in quite a while. And those are 3 out of the 5 employees that worked there. It was great. So we're sitting there and doing a bunch of things, and we're working outside, and the owner of the company walks over to me and says, "Hey, I want you to sweep the lot." Well, the problem is our lot was a complete gravel lot. Like, what am I supposed to sweep? Am I supposed to sweep like the pink gravel over to the brown gravel? I had no idea what was going on, and so I started thinking about it, and it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. Like, he would charge different customers different prices just on a whim. Be like, "Oh, no, I don't like you today. You owe me 10% more than what normal people do." I was like, "Isn't that illegal? Can you even do that?" And then it just all came to a head because I wouldn't know if I was working tomorrow until I actually woke up in the morning and I had to be there at 7:30. And then they'd message me and say, "Hey, we need you in here today because so-and-so called out." I didn't know my schedule. It was the worst. I quit after like a month and a half or 2 months and started walking dogs instead.
Dude, you held out. That no scheduling thing would bother me to no end. I would not be okay with that at all.
Like, some days I'd be there, like, I'd get there at 7:30 and they'd be like, "All right, dude, you can go home at 12. You can go home at 11. I was like, "Then why'd you have me come in?" Like, this doesn't make any sense. Or they'd be like, "Okay, we thought you could leave at 11:30, but you actually got to stay till 5. I was like,
Yeah, that's terrible.
That would suck.
Goodness.
And thankfully, you know, I'm just so excited about it because it taught me what I really didn't want to do with my life. But it also let me continue creating content for this manga channel. Actually, the first content, if you ever notice, like, look back at some of my older videos, if I look slightly dirty, it's because I legitimately had just gotten home from a 10-hour day and I was covered with grease and concrete.
Right. I remember Lohali the dog walker.
And locally, I miss the dog walking. Like, that was the most baller job I could have had, except for the pay was not great. I could not support my
That's
mom.
dedication, man.
It's well, I needed to help pay bills because I couldn't depend on my fiance for everything. She already cooks
Like
for
the
me.
YouTube thing.
Oh, this
That's enough
YouTube.
sometimes.
Hey, this YouTube thing. Once it takes off and I hit like at least 673 subscribers, I'll be making thousands and thousands of likes a year.
That's the dream.
That,
See, it's actually like to do something that you don't want to do that is still because like you get home and you've worked 12 hours and like the last thing from my mind at least is like, oh, I'm gonna make a video and I'm gonna edit for 3 hours and put it up on YouTube. Like that's not what I have in mind. It's just like I just want to stay at home and relax and good for something like that. But to still do it anyway, it just shows a lot of dedication. That's something that I need to get better with. My content is sparse as of late.
well, you're a busy man.
Maybe, yeah, but aren't we all to some extent?
To some extent, but you know, it's okay. Do you enjoy the content that you put out?
Yes, I do.
Well,
See,
then,
that's the other thing is like there's so much stuff that I have filmed and I've gotten ready for everybody, and I go to put it out and it's like, no, it's not. I'm not feeling it. And so like the amount of stuff that people haven't seen that I have ready is tons, but I don't. If I don't like it, I don't want other people to have to sit through it. I'm not going to subject other stuff that I've already vetoed and be like, oh, I'm not going to watch that ever again. So
you know what? That's okay. Like
yeah.
There's some videos that I put out. I'm like, man, that is not my best work. Like I'm okay with it, but it's not my best work. And sometimes like I like sticking to the schedule that I do because it holds me accountable and make sure that I'm still producing manga related content. It also forces me to relive a variety of series that I haven't done before. But some days I'm just like, man, I'm not feeling this. Like there have been times where I have not recorded my Monday video until Sunday night at 6:30, and then edited and uploaded it all before 10 o'clock.
Oh man.
And
See,
I
that's
ate
a lot of
dinner at
work.
the time. It is. I would not have been able to do it originally without Sydney. She is such an amazing help. When I had that 50mm lens, since I upgraded my 24, it's a lot nicer. That 50mm lens meant that she had to be with me whenever I was filming. So she had to work her schedule around mine. And then I'd also have her sit there and listen to what I was saying to make sure it made sense.
Mm-hmm.
She is a trooper. She's absolutely amazing.
That's awesome. That's good.
Right.
We
Is
we need good people on our team.
Is she staring at you? Right
No,
now?
she's asleep.
Okay. I was like, are you getting bullets stared at you right now?
So we actually have a question from !!
Let's do it.
So how did we all make our first videos? What was our inspiration?
Oh God. Could someone else go first while I think about this for a minute?
Jin, you are up
Go
first.
for it, man.
Oh man, my first video, I sat there and contemplated what to do for like a couple hours, and I was like, where do I start? Like, do I start with a review? What do I do? I was like, I'm just gonna talk about what my favorite shelf looks like. That's about it. What
Cool.
manga is on it. So I mean, and that's the first one. I didn't know anything, so it's like the whole video is like straight up and down.
God.
It's before I learned how to do anything, and I was like, God, I'm such a noob.
Hashtag world star.
Somebody finally told me like turn your phone sideways, and I was like, that's how I do it. Okay.
Like,
Yeah.
this changes everything.
Yeah.
I kid you not. The whole like first month of doing manga tubing was me sitting there, and every time I learned something new, it was like so easy. A caveman can do it. Got it. Yeah.
Oh boy, Andrew, have you thought yours through yet? Because mine.
Yeah. So like I had what the heck had I done? So one of my best friends this kid and I had grown up together since we were like 6 years old. We met in first grade, and we've just been best friends. And he also collects manga and video games, and we used to hang out a lot. And he just moved across the United States, and I hadn't seen him in a couple months. And no one. I was like, I was moving some shelves or something like that, and I thought to myself like, oh, this specific volume of such and such is special because of this. And I was like, no one cares besides you, dude. And I thought, I bet someone cares. I was like, there's got to be someone that cares. And so I thought, I didn't know that other people were doing this, because there's like, I'm obviously not the first one. We're not the first people to be doing this manga YouTube thing. And so I filmed myself, and it was a video about Final Fantasy 14, because I just got in the collector's edition, and I was like, I think it's really cool. And it was like the most sad, pathetic video. It's still up there. If you go scroll all the way to the bottom, you can find it. But it was just like me at the house before this one, and I was just like, I really like this game. Look at this. Here's a statue, and here's an art book. Okay, thanks, bye. And then I turned it off, and I uploaded it, and I got like one person subscribed to me, and I was like, who is that guy? Like, who cares? And I was like, oh, that's the guy who I was talking about. Like, that's the one person who cares. I was like, this is perfect. It's me and this one guy, and we're gonna be best friends on the internet. And then it just took off. But I had no idea. I didn't intend for this to be a thing, and now it's a thing. Now I'm here.
Now you're locked in. Unfortunately, this is where we
Yeah,
laugh.
it seems that way. Yeah.
My very first videos were actually inspired. So I didn't start off with the pure manga collection YouTube. I started off in manga review YouTube, and I even went further down and started talking about a brand new manga that was out, Eden's Zero. At first, I was gonna literally read the chapter and bash it, because I was like, man, Hiro Mashima failed me with Fairy Tail. I need to make fun of him for this. So my motivation was to completely blackball this man, and I had my phone sitting on a stack of books pointed at me with the light, like I had a ceiling light behind me and above me, so it looked like the lighting was the absolute worst lighting. But I did know not to put the camera up and down, Jin. Basic. Come on. So I was sitting there, I was talking about it, and I was reading through the chapter like just like this on my phone, like on my tablet, because I had it on my tablet, reading through it like this, talking about it. It's the absolute worst video. And then as I started to go through more and more and more, I mainly did review videos, and then I jumped into MangaTube collection, and it was just a fun time. But most of those older original videos have been taken down because I got one copyright strike because I was doing what everyone else was doing, and I was showing the panels of what I was talking about, like so people could be with me. And boy, does Shueisha not like that at all.
They're evil, man. They hate us.
The second that they went in and got one of mine, like I was at home and I got the email like, you have been copyright struck. I went online. I was like, oh boy, time to hide all of them. And I literally deleted or hid them. Like I've lost everything about them. The actual initial like secondary thoughts, secondary reviews are still up, but the first read-throughs, live reactions, dead in the water.
That kind of sucks, man. Just have all your stuff. To take it down yourself is one thing. For it to be taken down is one thing, but to take it yourself is another thing, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Shueisha was
Locally
tough.
knows the story. Like, I used to put out like 100 videos a month. So I probably I just got back up to 500 videos like not that long ago. But I had maybe 500 videos like up to my 5th month of doing MangaTube. And I was like, oh man, this is so good. And then Insidious Swede got hit with the Shueisha stuff too. And I was like,
yeah,
all my reviews, I'm just going to delete them. I went from like almost 500 videos down to I think 200 videos or so. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Yeah.
That's terrible.
Bad. Yeah.
Dude, I feel so bad about Insidious copyright strike because like the day that he got smashed, and I don't follow, I'm really not a social media guy. Like I stick to myself and I just kind of produce. And I knew that he was doing manga stuff, but I knew the name, but I didn't know like anything specific about him. I didn't follow him. And he got hit with this copyright strike, and then the next day I just happened to put up this giant like Viz manga haul. Oh my God. And he was like, I'm not gonna be doing anything with Viz or anything with Shonen Jump rather. Because of the copyright strike. And like the next day I put up this thing, it's like, oh, Shonen Jump is the best. I can't believe it. Look how awesome. And I felt so bad because these people were in the comments like, dare you, because of him. And I was like, I don't even know what's going on. and I got flamed because of it. It was pretty funny though. Afterwards, we talked and we're good now. But holy cow, it was a miserable minute.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, Shonen Jump is great. I love Shonen, so I can't even lie. Like, I don't like Shueisha for what they do, but they do put out some good content, some quality.
Exactly.
So a few more questions. First of all, do you listen to Static X, Linkin Park?
Linkin Park, yes. I don't like X.
What about Limp
You
Bizkit?
educate me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but-
not as much now, but like in high school, yeah.
See, right? And then we've been getting into a huge. There's somebody asked. They're like, "You're the kind of guy who looks like they listen to Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit." And I was like, "So who doesn't listen to Linkin Park on the repeat?"
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then
well, again, Linkin Park, like now, not so good. But when I was like skating in high school, that was what you listened to. It was like the anthem.
Papa Roach,
Hybrid Theory. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
like OG Papa Roach, like Infest album, all of that stuff right there.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about.
Disturbed.
Oh, Disturbed, honestly, is
Disturbed
probably the
pretty-
world's best cover band. That sounds terrible, but all of their biggest songs are legitimate covers. Sound of
Yeah,
Silence.
I feel.
That used
Mhm.
that used to be my thing all the time. I'd be like, "Dude, are you Disturbed?" People would be like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, are you Disturbed like the band?" And they'd be like,
Oh my gosh.
"Oh, I mean, it's even worse when I go." People go, "It depends," and I go, "Is it like Depends, like the adult diaper?"
Oh Lord. Oh Lord. Is there any manga or anime that hasn't been translated into English that you would love to make it over? This is from
Yeah.
Jack.
Yes. Yeah. So they're like early on in my collecting, like had maybe like 50 or 60 volumes. I was playing the Fire Emblem game for the Game Boy Advance, and they had Fire Emblem manga out in Japan. I actually bought the first 3. I'm looking at them right now. They're up on my shelf. And I wanted to read those so bad in English. They're just not there. So that's like my go-to one that I always think about. But there's tons of good stuff that hasn't been translated. Like what's the I'm drawing a blank. Is it Kingdom or something like that?
Oh my God, Kingdom, the Chinese ancient
Yeah.
warring states. Yes, Kingdom.
Dude, that would be awesome to have here. And we could I could see someone producing them in like omnibus, like hardback, like good quality. That would be sweet.
That would be so dope. So they're actually gonna have a live action movie of Kingdom on coming out. Not to be confused with Netflix's Kingdom, which is about zombies, also in China. Like,
Oh,
they
no.
timed it just right. Yeah, it was
How dare they?
it was weird timing. I was like, oh no, zombie movies with Chinese martial arts. I am terribly. Somebody get me my remote. I need to see how bad this is. Get me some
Right.
popcorn too.
It should have been like, "It's already been done." Shaman King season 1.
Boom. But
What are you talking about?
Kingdom actually also has an anime. It's not translated to English, but it does have English subs.
Okay.
The anime is really weird though. Like it's not weird. It's actually pretty faithful to what it's supposed to be. But they were trying to experiment with pure CGI animation, and it just does not work that well. It's real clunky. Like, did you ever watch Ajin, the anime?
Like an episode, yeah.
It's that same kind of
Uncanny Valley.
uncanny. You're like,
Yeah.
like
not
you
quite
kind
there.
of look like people, but you also move like you're animatronic. It's not cool, guys.
Yeah.
What about you, Jin?
What about you guys?
Jin, what do you need translated into English as either an anime or a manga?
Oh, Aries. I need that translated something first.
Dude, Aries was awesome.
I got up to a little after they had that. You followed the story of the guy that knew how to use the spear.
Yep.
And I got to right after him, and they played him up so much, and then he went up against like Ares and the other guy, and they killed him off, and I was like, why would you even put this character in there if you were just gonna kill him off in like 3 seconds?
Well, they did it to really humanize the other side. Look at me acting like I know what Ares is all about, but I have read it 4 times, so I kind of do. They used him because he went up against Michael and Ares, the spear guy. I can't remember what the spear guy's name was. He was actually one of the best people in the army. It just so happened that he was going up against the 2 best swords fighter in the other armies. And they really just did it to show the difference in mentality between Ares and Michael, and what it would actually take to take a separate path. And they just use that as a way to kind of demonstrate what was going on.
Oh yeah, because he totally like that. After that battle was where they cut it, and it was like, hey, Michael, you're like this king now. Now you have your own army, and you're going to be fighting against the army that Ares is in.
That the whole anime, the whole manga, I would love it if it was an anime. But that whole manga is really, really awesome. Like, Andrew, if you get the chance to ever look into it, it's a mercenary war manga.
Ooh, sounds cool.
Yeah, you know, you've read Berserk, right?
Not all of it, but yeah.
You know that first like scene where Guts goes up and fights the dude that's in the armor, like when he's really young.
Yeah.
Almost every fight scene is set up like that, and it's just spectacular.
Awesome.
It's like, let's send in our best fighter, and then we're gonna have a fight scene. So everybody's like the master of something that they had, or like the best fighter. Or
Awesome.
like the Troy movie, where Achilles goes and fights the big giant guy.
Mm.
I mean, it's all set up like that, kind of. It's really spectacular.
Cool. Sounds good. I'll have to check it out.
So, like I said, and then for me, we all know what mine is. So I'm gonna make a T-shirt that just says Ippo in English and just start selling it to see if I can make a profit to get Hajime no Ippo into English.
I'd buy it. Although, isn't that series like huge? Do I have room for this 90-something volume, whatever series?
Oh, honey, you think it's 90 volumes?
I don't know how much it is. I know it's more than what I've got room for. That's for damn sure.
Just get
Someone look that up.
Get a new house. If I remember correctly, it's over 125 volumes right now.
Nope, that was a spit take. I'm glad it wasn't. No, that's insane, man. See, that's what I'm worried about, because I was gonna say that at first, and I was like, that's gonna be a problem. I would buy it too. That's the other thing. Is it like they're like, okay, we're gonna translate it? I'd be like, well, there goes my salary for the next couple months.
Oh, I'd be in trouble. Like, Sydney already knows. I would instantaneously jump on that and purchase every single volume as they came out. I don't even know how you could feasibly release Ippo into English. Like, it, just for how large and long running the series is, it would be almost impossible at this point.
I was thinking also, because like we've got Golgo 13. Have you guys heard of that?
I have, yes.
So that's like the ones that we had in English of those. I think there was let me see. 10, yeah, so there's 13 volumes of that we've had in English, and those were like a collection of stories, like some of the best parts here, the best parts there. So I was thinking that, but there's the Ippo, so like it is all of it is so integral to itself. I can't imagine them cutting out bits here and there because you need it for stuff later on.
It exactly,
so,
like, everything builds into itself, and each of the stories gives you a different perspective on understanding Ippo.
Oh man, I could see them doing that and doing 2-in-1s coming out every month.
Holy cow! That would still be so many damn volumes.
I think if they were to do like omnibuses, it would be better. I think they could do it with omnibuses, but what I'm worried about is the quality of the paper. Because whenever you do an omnibus,
did you guys? Let's see.
Do you do 2-in-1s or 3-in-1s?
Depends on what they get me.
So like, the 3-in-1s, the Shonen Jump 3-in-1s are like, I know what you're talking about. They've got like that Bible thin paper, or like that Death Note one. It's like all together, and it's just like an unbelievable, unreadable thing. But like the Kuroko's basketball, I don't know if you guys can see that, but they've got 2-in-1s. Do you get either of you guys have these?
I do not have the Kuroko's basketball.
They're like regular manga. Like it's just like it's the same size, the same paper quality, everything. Yeah. But they're just 2-in-1s. That would not be bad. That would be okay. I'd be okay with that. But it's the paper quality, like what you brought up before. The paper quality on the others are so
which
terrible.
Is weird because, like, I mean, because I've heard that before, but all my 3-in-1s aren't. It's not the thin paper, which is weird.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like I got off like real good because the thin paper you can usually like hold it up and see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all mine, like, you can't do that.
They're solid. Interesting.
Yeah. I wonder if they had like a certain printing line that they came out.
So would you?
Oh,
If,
yeah, maybe.
if they were to do a series that large, like they would have to make it in a special edition. Would you want it to be a hardback or like a regular paperback?
Oh, see, it would depend on how fast they're putting them out. This is the other thing. This is why I worry, not worry, but this is why I think that it hasn't been taken yet. Because if I, as a publisher, know that I have to publish 130 volumes of something, I don't want to publish 130 volumes of crap. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be something good. So I wouldn't want it to be on bad paper. But then the other side is like I have to publish 130 volumes of something, which means the cost is going to be huge over something like Death Note that has like what 12, something like that. And so
13-ish, yeah.
yeah, but I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like if Shonen Jump says okay, or Viz, we'll say Viz says okay, we're just gonna publish it here, and we get like the regular size volumes, 130 of them. Who I as a publisher I wouldn't want to do that. It just seems like so much more work. I think that's why we're getting more omnibus stuff now.
Oh, 100%.
Oh yeah.
What? Okay, I'm about to throw something crazy out there. Something that I don't know if it's been done yet. What if it were to be an omnibus box set?
Ooh, that's more likely. I would totally buy that.
Like,
True.
and you use and the way that I would. Oh man, now I'm designing this box set in my head, and I think it would look so dope. Like an omnibus box set. So you're getting, a couple different volumes in each single book, and then you're getting a ton of them in a box set. You could do it through either the stages of his career or the major tournaments that he's taking part in, and then across the like box itself, you're showing just different like one-on-one fight scenes from the anime instead of the
dude,
the
that
manga.
would be so cool.
I'm getting the chills just thinking about that. I would.
That's a really good idea.
Because roughly, I mean, unless it's like a particular series with a box set, if it's like a big one like Naruto or One Piece, it's usually about 22 volumes, so you get 11 omnibuses out of it.
Yeah.
Oh man,
12. That wouldn't matter.
That would be.
Does Claymore have a box set?
Yeah.
I think it does.
It does. If you ask now, the real one that we need to ask about, does Fairy Tail have a box?
Not that I know. They
Yeah.
got those what are they called? Like the Master Edition ones or
Yeah, they have some.
gigantic.
But they stopped. That's dirty.
Did they stop
Loki.
them?
I can't believe you brought that up. Migs, if you're in the comments, get out now.
Sorry, it was too wide open. But I think,
Dude, that was like full swing, broken jaw, everything.
that was the classic callback, though. I appreciate you, Migs. But yeah, like I think an omnibus box set, which I don't know if we've seen it before, would be the only way to do EPO logically.
And just release them as the box set, or would you still release the omnibus in singles?
I'd give you the option of both, but then realistically, you'd be more likely to sell the. I'd try to create a deal where the box set is the only thing that made sense, especially since you're releasing it for the first time.
Yeah.
The people who are gonna buy it aren't gonna buy it one volume at a time unless those volumes are cheaper than the box set.
Yeah.
Like if
And
somebody.
I think box sets for the most part are the better deal, especially if you get them through Right Stuff or something like that. They're a way better deal.
100%. I think the only thing that would set it apart is if somebody didn't have the budget to buy a box set at the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Hey,
But if that's the case, man, they're selling those new the Berserk hardbacks for like $50. Like that's insane.
that's
So
ridiculous.
obviously people are doing crazy stuff.
I think we need to start like a hashtag here soon, like right around the new year. When do they?
I do it.
Does anyone know when they start looking for new manga to publish in English? Like what time of year?
I know that Seven Seas always has like a thing on their website where you can request stuff. I don't know if it gets looked at ever, but
I think they do it during the spring and during the fall, or during like winter.
All
here
right.
you go.
So we're gonna have to start a winter hashtag.
I think that's when they. I think they really start looking at it when they put out the double series or the double chapters. You know.
Hmm. See, we need like a resident expert, like in the comments at all points in time, who just knows how the comic industry works, like the manga industry works, so we can start
You know what
to
we'll have
plan
to
this
do?
out.
Dude, if you can find someone like that and get him on this manga club of yours, that would be awesome. Because I would have so many questions for
The
that
only one that I can think of is Lythis,
hypothetical
and
person.
we have. There's been issues on my end getting a hold of Lythis, and that's all on me. But he's the only person I can think of right now. Jin, can you think of anyone else?
To do what?
To manga industry expert to come in and talk about publishing schedules and all of that stuff.
Oh, I don't have my book in here, but I mean, I have everything that I want that's coming out
I mean, I'll count that.
for like the next 5 or 6 months.
I mean, we could contact Right Stuff to see if they could send somebody
I
over
mean,
to us.
you know what we could do too? I mean, we'd have to sit down and get in the Shonen Jump magazine, but I mean, we could see every time they put a chapter out for like hey, try this chapter out, you know?
See,
I mean,
like, there's just so many questions that we have that we need answered.
Oh, that's an interesting idea, actually. You could go back and find out what was successful and figure out like what month they all started in, and just like reverse engineer it and figure out, oh, all the new ones started at this particular time or whatever.
Yeah.
There's got to be some correlation.
Yeah, I mean, if you take that and probably some kind of variable about when it was published over in Japan, you know.
Yeah. That's a really interesting thought. I never considered that.
Okay, so I know that they in this year, I just literally Googled this. They did 4 new manga in 4 issues.
Okay.
Starting, and it was supposed to be let's see what the dates exactly were. You had Samurai 8, The Tale of Hachimaru, which was going to be released on May 13th, followed by Kentaro Fukuda's Futari no Taisai May 20th. Then you had Beast Children on the 27th of May, followed by Tokyo Shinobi Squad on the 3rd of June.
So it is like early summer.
Yeah.
Yeah. So mid-May to early June.
Yeah, but again, that's also not when licensors would pick things up. I think that would be a different kind of scheduling, don't you? Like, the push for something getting into the magazine is probably something different than getting something from the magazine into a different market overall.
Overseas,
and,
no less, yeah.
And that's why I was saying, like, if we looked in the actual paper copy magazines, it'd probably be better because, you know, it was, do I waste the paper to print these couple chapters or not, you know?
Like I said, this all comes down to how much longer until Kingdom and Hajime no Ippo are translated, and it's going to be, Kingdom will probably be translated first. It's depressing. So sad. But if Berserk got translated...
It's a good step forward, though.
It is. I mean...
Yeah.
The longest... There are a few... Let me see if I can find this. There are a few manga that have not been translated into English. That was a terrible sentence. Into English. That are just absolutely massive. Like, we're talking hundreds upon hundreds of volumes. Oddly enough, the top 10 list is Ginga Legend Weed. Never heard of that one. It's got 110 volumes. Then you have Haguregu. I cannot say that. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Then you have Ippo. And actually, Ippo and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure have the exact same number of volumes. So if JoJo's is translated, why isn't Ippo?
Yeah, but we just barely started getting those. Wasn't that like 3 or 4 years ago that we started getting the hardback versions?
It is, but here's
the beginning of JoJo's.
Here's the even crazier thing. Ippo has 1,259 chapters, where JoJo has 934.
Holy moly!
Yeah. So in terms of chapters, I think Ippo's basically top tier, except for Little Rascal. But Little Rascal is like a little bit of a different monster.
Yeah,
that was a terrible pun. But Grappler Baki is number 6 with 135 volumes.
Oh my goodness.
Cooking Papa has 148 volumes.
Which, aren't there aren't isn't the manga over there, isn't it smaller than our manga over here though?
Size-wise, yes, but I'm not sure about content-wise. That's something that I'm not entirely sure about.
Because I wonder
Dude,
if
you know
like,
what's? Oh no, go for it.
yeah, I wonder if like two of their volumes is actually like one of ours or whatever. Like if it
No, I
whenever
think they're
it
the
comes
same
out almost
size.
bi-weekly, um,
See, I
we'll
think
have
they're the
to. You
same
know who we'll have to
size.
ask? We'll have to ask a man in his merch because you know he has the the series near and dear to us, One Piece,
Mm.
and see if it's the same count or not.
I'm pretty sure because One Piece has 92 volumes that are being translated right now. I'm pretty sure it's right around there. Is the same number.
Dude, One Piece is also incredibly huge.
But
Right?
it also got translated. It got
Have
translated
you
in English at the right time.
have you gotten
Yeah.
yours?
No, I've not. That looks awesome though.
Yeah, that's 91.
And they just released the volume cover for chapter 90 for volume 92.
Yeah.
He's getting
Insane.
close though, right? Like, isn't it? Aren't we fairly close to an ending?
I mean, we're more than halfway done.
Maybe. I'd give him another 30 volumes for him to
We're a
finish
little
up.
over 80%.
No, we're not over 80%. That was the worst joke ever of all time. I hated that April Fool's joke.
Uh,
That was did okay. So the somebody came out with an article on Reddit that was linked to Oda was basically saying when One Piece was going to be over, and if you clicked on the link, it said, "April Fools, I can't believe you fell for this joke. One Piece will never die."
oh my goodness,
It was amazing.
that's awesome.
But yeah, I think they're pretty close in translation. But the longest running manga was 100%. Oddly enough, Dokaben with 205 volumes.
Holy cow!
Golgo 13 has 193 and it's still ongoing.
Wow,
But
that's an incredible thing.
I think the difference between Golgo and I think Golgo might overtake everything else, but I'm pretty sure if it's been having the same author, that's insane. Since
The dude just has like hooks for hands and like he can't even.
It's been going on since
Imagine this.
1968.
That's
He
an
doesn't,
insane
he
thing.
doesn't even have hooks. He uses his mouth to draw it.
Yeah, he's going on nubs. I remember seeing like when Inuyasha ended, that blew my mind. However many volumes that had, and now that's like nothing. Does anyone else feel weird
Oh
about
yeah,
that?
it's like
That's so strange.
56, and you're like,
You're like,
Yeah.
that's a lot of volumes, and then you get done and you're
I
like,
know, but now we don't even think about it. Like, cause Fairy Tail beat it, and Bleach beat it, and Naruto beat it, and One Piece beat it, and like all these other ones that I didn't think would ever get this long.
oh,
They're
right.
like way more than Inuyasha. And Case Closed has like
Case
a bajillion
closed,
volumes.
yeah.
Oddly
Yeah.
enough, so Case Closes. I mean, Case Close isn't even in the top 10 though. But yeah, Inuyasha is ranked number 84 with 56 total volumes. Let's see where we're at. Ace of Diamond is at 73. Number 73 with 61 volumes. Fairy Tail is at 61 with 63 volumes. Somebody needs to knock Fairy Tail like down 3 pegs so that just feels more complete in my mind.
Perfect. Yeah.
Duel Masters is above Fairy Tail.
That's an insane
Kinnikuman.
thing.
Kinnikuman has 65 volumes. What? Oh man, this is the Prince of Tennis has 71 volumes, but it will beat out Naruto, I think, because since it's still ongoing. Naruto has 72 volumes. This has 71. I want this to beat Naruto.
Dude,
Actually,
I was so happy when Bleach beat Naruto. I'm not gonna lie, because like I was like Bleach just a little bit better because I started with it, and I was so overjoyed to see it just get those 2 volumes ahead of it. I was so pleased.
Oh, it's ridiculous. Gintama, some of these numbers might be outdated, is number 43 with 75 volumes. Oh, man. I'm seeing if there's anything insane. Tough? Oh, boy. If you haven't read Tough, Tough needs to be translated into English. It's a great UFC MMA fighter. One Piece is only number 26 on this list with 93 volumes.
Holy cow.
Goodness.
Case Closed is number 23 with 96 volumes. Captain Tsubasa has 101 volumes. And then again we reach our top 10.
That's so wild, dude.
Oh man. That's insane. Like, to think about the number of volumes that are just constantly plugged away at.
Yeah.
Like, the effort, the artwork. And so a lot of these mangaka are by themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I
Yeah.
mean, they obviously
They're
have
sleeping like
assistants.
5 hours a day.
Ridiculous. Like, also, I do want to point out number 9 and number 8 on this list. Both of them have the first name of George. So I'm not sure if you're a manga artist in Japan, but if your first name is George, you're doing pretty well for yourself.
Yeah.
Right. What about all the other Georges?
That's just insane.
You
though.
think it's some Japanese that thinks like George is most coolest name? He's just like, oh, it's the
Hey,
pen
man.
name, George.
Like what? Like guys over in America, like Sasuke, they're like, yes, that is the name that I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with. In Japan,
Exactly.
George,
Yeah.
not Andrew, not Jacob, not
Just
Brian.
George.
It's George.
Yeah.
Like if a small child walked to me and said, "Hello, sir, my name is George," I'd be like, "Oh, that's an old soul right there." Like I haven't met any young children with the name of George recently.
I would totally be like, are you going to like turn into a monkey at some point? Or are you some kind of Tarzan character? Where are you gonna come in at,
He's
George?
gonna be George of the Jungle. Okay, now I'm singing that song in my head, guys. I'm sorry. It's going on and on.
I mean, and isn't the little monkey, isn't his name George too?
Yeah,
Oh,
Curious
yeah.
George.
Curious George.
Yeah.
I loved Curious George and the man with the yellow hat, who they never gave a name because screw us, right?
Yeah. The monkey has a name.
George has
Yeah.
a name. The man with the yellow hat doesn't have a name. He's just the man with the yellow hat.
Hey, you know it would be really funny if we found out the second most used name in Japan was Clifford? Dude, I'd be like,
George
are
and Clifford.
y'all watching American cartoons to get these names?
Arthur. I bet you it's Arthur.
Right.
There you go.
I loved that show as a kid, by the way. Like,
Oh, yeah.
of course, that could be considered a Monster Girl anime because it's an animated show and the people are actually anthropomorphic animals. Jin, does it count as a Monster Girl anime?
I mean,
We need to ask Otaku Mike.
I think yes.
Oh, God.
Oh, I mean, so we've had this discussion multiple times. So, you have the encyclopedias and then you have everything else. And so we've talked about it because the encyclopedias state that dwarves and elves and everything. So, I mean, everything in The Hobbit is a monster girl, monster guy if you're not human. And then my whole point, because somebody else tried to get in an argument with me and Mike one point, I go, aren't humans just mammals? So isn't everybody just a monster girl or guy? And they go, out of chat, click. I was like, get you back in here.
Get
See,
back
I
in there and have
immediately
this
thought of, like,
conversation.
All of Dragon Ball could be considered monster girl, monster guy anime. It's like,
Oddly enough,
Exactly.
Bulma would be the only one who's not a monster
Yeah.
girl or guy.
it's just the opposite.
Her and Yansha, because Tien has 3 eyes.
Yeah.
Krillin has no nose, which actually was a plot point in Dragon Ball. Everyone, I want
Yeah,
you to
that's
know
how he
this.
beat that giant guy.
The giant smelly dude. He
Yeah,
was being beat
yep.
by the smells, and Goku's like, dude, you don't have a nose. And Krillin's like, oh
He's
yeah,
like,
I
"Oh,
don't
yeah,
have a
he
nose. Okay.
He goes, stinky finger.
Yeah,
And
that guy.
Dylan's like, "Ah!"
So, but yeah, technically everyone except for, because Master Roshi is immortal, so that would make him a monster.
Yeah.
Chi-Chi's technically a human.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe I'm having a
Well,
discussion about monster girls being in Dragon Ball Z.
'Cause
In
isn't
Dragon
he,
Ball.
like, part of like some kind of demon race because of her dad?
No, technically he's just an oversized person. He's the Ox King. She's royalty. So, if Dragon Ball Z ever becomes owned by
So
Disney,
he's a
technically-
giant.
Ah,
So he's a giant.
could be,
He's
yeah.
he's like Big Mom in One Piece.
Could be, yeah. But I'm thinking about this now. If Disney ever somehow gets the rights to Dragon Ball Z and Chi-Chi appears in the movie, technically she is a princess, which means that Goku is a Disney prince and Chi-Chi is a Disney princess.
I quit.
I have solved all the mysteries of life.
out.
Does Disney?
That part-
Okay, I have to know if Disney owns Dragon Ball Z now.
That part whenever she sings, and then you realize when she was a little girl that's why all the dinosaurs kept coming after her. You're a Disney princess, right?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So,
own it.
listen to this. So, with the Disney acquisition of Fox, Disney will acquire their film and TV assets, as well as Fox's 30% stake in Hulu. Disney will acquire both active and backlog titles from Fox, and Dragon Ball appears to be housed within that criteria. Chi-Chi is going to be a Disney
Boom.
princess.
Exciting stuff.
I'm so upset.
This is the biggest revelation that has ever happened on
Yeah,
Twitter.
you've heard it here first, folks.
Chi-Chi may be a Disney princess.
Oh man, does that mean like Black Widow is a Black Widow and Scarlet Witch and everybody are Disney princesses too?
Yeah, I mean, no, she's not a princess. No, Chi-Chi's a legitimate princess.
Yeah, the daughter of the Ox King.
Yeah, so am I asking this on Twitter? You're darn right I am.
So does that mean was Thanos technically a king? Is Gamora a princess?
Yeah, technically she would be, yeah. An adopted princess, but a princess nonetheless, because an adoptive family is still a real family, guys.
Aw.
Right.
Oh my gosh, I have to...
I have to Twitter this.
Okay, so
The world must know.
the world must know this thought. It's being formed, so I won't forget it. But there are a few things. We have 8 minutes left in this show, which again feels like not enough time, but still all the time in the world.
Yeah.
First, I want to say happy birthday tomorrow to our good friend Shay Geeks Out over at the channel Shay Geeks Out. Super excited for you. Always a blast to have her on. And I have a few big announcements before we kind of get to the end of the show. Andrew, up until this point, you have been the largest subscribed to male guest on the show. Our largest subscribed to guest up to this point was CJ vs. Manga. However, I have a very big announcement for next week's live stream. Only 3 people know about this other than Sydney. And that would be next week we are going to be joined by the illustrious Too Spooky on the Manga Club podcast. And I, for one, am so excited.
Awesome.
Was I one of those people?
Yes, of course you were.
I was like, am I the only one that got your Twitter thing? I was like, I know exactly who he's talking about. You were like, I feel like I gave too much away with this. And then I was like, I wonder if people will understand this or not.
I mean, but yes. I'm really excited to have him on, and the reason why I didn't want to mention it before is because I'd rather just have a conversation with you, Andrew, and not have focus on anything else, because you are such an amazing person to have on this show, and I'm just so thankful that you come on every single time and contribute well, and the conversations just flow as naturally as that aloe water is unnatural.
Well, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It's fun. It seems like we've all been friends for forever, so that's a good thing for sure.
I mean, I would definitely kick back and eat a cheeseburger with you.
Aw, thank you.
I might even
What?
take you out for Mexican.
I feel like that's blasphemy. That's not Lohali-ish. Lohali would take you out for a burrito.
Well, it depends. You know, Andrew, burritos or burgers?
Dude, anything. You could put the burger in a burrito and just have both.
You know what the
Let's
great
do
thing
that.
is? It would still maintain the same name. It'd still be a burrito or a burger.
Oh man. Now you guys are making me think about dinner last night.
What'd you have for dinner, Jin?
It wasn't me. I had like Taco Bell, so I
Doesn't
went to
count.
McDonald's for the boy though, and I kid you not, I'm sitting there watching him, and he takes his burrito or his taco that I got him, and he puts it in the bun that the burger was,
Awesome.
and then he takes out the patty and puts it into the wrap, and then he puts the fries into it, and I was like, so you're having a taco burger and a burger taco? This is very confusing, boy. You know, and then it's a 1.5-year-old, so then he just looks over like, of course, you know, I've done this the whole time.
I mean, I can respect that. I can respect
Yeah.
that though. So, God, there's so many more things that I want to talk about. Like, ask. It's always so hard, Andrew. You got to be like you need to just be on like every single week. That's it. This is a 3-man show from now on. No other guests, just Andrew. So what do you have in the works? Is there any videos that you have coming up that you kind of want to maybe spoil us a little bit with, or
Yeah, we could talk a little bit about that. Right now I've actually got half of the library that I have like pushed to one side. I've created a nice little corner for myself here so I can talk to you guys, but everything else looks a little bit too hectic because I'm installing shelves like into the wall. I've removed the closet and I'm using that for more space because I don't have enough space. And as soon as I get that where I want it to be, then I'll do a full library tour, which is what people have been asking me for like 3 years. And so I think that will be good. And I think, I don't know. I keep buying stuff like you, man. I get a lot of used stuff from eBay, but I don't open them because I'm lazy and I don't want to make the video. So I'll buy it. I'll be like, oh, great deal on such and such. I buy it and I just have it in a box. And so I've got like maybe 9 or 10 different unboxing videos I could be doing. So lots of stuff in the works, but nothing right yet because half of my room is demolished. So I'll get that cleaned up and then.
Do you ever surprise yourself with that? Like,
dude,
you
all
forget
the
what you buy,
time.
you cut it
All
open
the
and you're like,
time.
it's like Christmas. I wanted this.
Yeah, man. Seriously, before I moved to this place, I had like 2 or 3 that I just hadn't unboxed at all. And then I think it was last year or the year before, I did a live stream where I was like every half an hour I just would pick a box and open it. And so it lasted a long time, like 5 hours or something like that. But there were so many things that I just forgotten about entirely that I had opened. I'm glad I didn't buy them again because that's totally something I've done before. But yeah, all the time I myself.
Oh man, I'm looking at, how are you even going to do that tour? Like, you have thousands of volumes. It will take you hours.
So into different episodes, but I think I'm going to film and edit them all in one collective piece and then just release like one episode every 2 or 3 days for maybe 2 weeks or something like that. Because aside from the books in here, I want to do an episode that focuses on like the music that I collect, because I've got a lot of records and albums of different music, and then video games and manga that I kind of started to do back in 2017, and I just stopped because of everything kind of went out of my control. But there's a lot more than just manga that I like to show off, and I think it would be cool.
Hey,
other people are also interested, so
if you have any
give them
extra
what they want.
stuff, you know, you can send it to
What's
me.
that?
If you have any extra stuff, you can send it to me.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. I totally do. Give me your address. I'll send. Although, what can I see you, man? Your collection's like twice as big as mine.
So, you know, I haven't put the video out yet. You'll have to watch it when I put it out. I mentioned it in one of the other live streams. But
Okay.
so you know, I went to my local hobby store and got some model kits. And
awesome.
The girl told me, she goes, "You can't buy this," and I was like, "Why not?" She's building the exact same model line that I am right now, and I was like, "Why can't I buy it?" She goes, "No, you can buy it," but she goes, "I'm going to be very upset." I had a volume of Sergeant Frog, volume 17, that was a library copy somebody had given me.
Mm-hmm.
And I turned around, took it back up there handed her one of my business cards for Jen Graves, and I gave her the book, and I said, "This is for you." I said, "Me and a bunch of other guys do a kind of like a program where we try and give out like manga for needy homes or whatever. He goes, "Thank you. This is like the best gift ever that I didn't expect."
Awesome.
So I've been trying to do that more. If somebody brings it up or mentions a certain series and I have an extra book for it, then I'm like, here, let me slide this to you.
Yeah, you might as well share the gospel.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't need it because I mean, almost everything I already have for my duplicates.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm for one. I for one am excited for Andrew's collection channel.
Well, thank you, man. It should be fun.
And I mean, man, like I
What?
said for the last 20 minutes, this isn't long enough. But we're gonna have to call it here, kind of. In typical Manga Club fashion, we're gonna end with one question to get to know you a little bit better. So all out of left field. I never plan these things out.
Yeah.
I make them up on the spot.
Sure.
What is one genre or artist of music that you listen to that people would not suspect?
Would not suspect. Dude, like classical music. Like I have so many different records of like Beethoven and Bach and Mozart and Tchaikovsky and Sean and so much stuff like that. Like on my phone, I've got MP3s of like all these huge symphonies and all sorts of different. And they're never like names of songs. It's like Symphony in D. And you're like, oh, that's my jam. But I'm all about that stuff.
Like Symphony in D with X as the composer, as the director. Yeah, that's mine. If it's by director C, please.
Yeah.
It's the inferior
Don't even mess
form.
with that guy's stuff. Exactly.
Oh no,
exactly.
or it'll be something like, hey, this is Moonlight Sonata in F flat with A following. You're like,
yeah.
it's a lot.
Like I will pretend, like not even pretend, because to me it's just awesome music. And so I will just bump that stuff in my car and I turn that up all the way and my windows are down and I'm going through and there's like people are looking at me like this long-haired skater guy is listening to like Tchaikovsky as he's rolling down the street, and it's just a weird thing, but I love it, man. I totally get into it. So that's
I can.
Does that answer your question? Is that good enough? Is that weird enough?
That does count. What about you, Jin?
You should watch the Forest of Piano anime. You'll love it. Yeah.
Force of Piano anime?
Yeah. They go through the second season or the second part, they actually cover Chopin. So I mean
cool.
it was really good and they play it in different ways. People play it faster. I mean it's great. It's one that you actually have to watch it because if it was put in manga format, it would be horrible because you couldn't hear any of the music.
You lose that. That's awesome.
Music for me though, something that I don't know what genre would you think that I would listen to, and I'll give you a band or something that's from that.
Oh, see, that's not fair though. Come on.
I mean, that's hard. I mean, really, the only thing that I don't really listen to is opera by itself.
Oh yeah, God no, I can't do opera.
Usually, if I have anything that has any kind of opera in it, it's Chopin or something like that with opera assistance. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I listen to rap and everything, so.
Man. So for me, see, Jin, you're just the kind of guy who would read everything. So I'm not really like you read everything, you'd listen to everything. So for me, probably
Dude, so I was same thing as Andrew. I was sitting in my car one day and it was a country song and it was one of those times when you're driving in the car and the car beside you stays with you through like 4 different lights. At one point we were listening to country music, then we listened to rap, and then we were listening to like Avenged Sevenfold, and it started getting to the point where the person started looking at me and like, what are you listening to?
Yeah, for me, oh man. Okay, for me, probably the weirdest thing that I've ever, weirdest stuff that I listened to. I just came across Chance the Rapper in Wu-Tang Clan.
Oh,
Like
no.
my whole thing.
I
Wu-Tang.
quit.
But my whole thing is I listen to basically everything just like you, Jin. Other than opera, but yeah, if you looked at me, you probably wouldn't guess that I listen to straight up bro country sometimes.
What, what about what about Eddie Rath? Did you look that guy up yet?
I have not looked that up yet, but I listen to Luke Bryan every now and then. I disappoint myself. Or actually, you know what? I listen to 5 Seconds of Summer.
After
Boom.
the days of summer have gone?
After the days of summer have gone, I listen to 5 Seconds of Summer. But anyway, we are at the end of the show, totally skipping over the fact that I listen to really poppy boy bands sometimes. Andrew, tell everyone where they can find you.
It's just youtube.com/Andrew Tsundoku. I'm on Twitter at Andrew Tsundoku. I'm at a bunch of other places, but I don't check them as often, so stick with those two.
Jin, you know the usual.
Oh, guys. I'm on the interwebs. I'm probably in Lohali's recommendations.
Yes.
So if you can't find me, I'm a hard man to lose. So,
I mean, have I lost you yet? Maybe.
only every time we get off of the Manga Club,
Fair enough.
and
Fair
then I
enough.
come back.
All right, and guys, Andrew, again, thank you so much for being on. Jin,
Of course.
I don't need to legally thank you anymore. We're done with this. You're fine. If you're not here, I will find you and I will hit you with a shoe. I'll take the chancla to you. But for me, I have my manga collection tip video coming out next Monday. And then next Wednesday, again, we are having my boy Too Spooky on the channel for the first time ever. I'm excited. But again, I cannot thank Andrew enough.
We also have the Spartan Challenge starting tomorrow.
Spartan Challenge does start tomorrow, yes. You got to keep reminding me of that stuff. You know I don't remember challenges. But again, Andrew, thank you so much for being an amazing person, an amazing friend, an amazing guest on our show. And for, you know what, that's all that we can really ask is this love and enthusiasm that you have with us. Carry on into the world.
Of course. Absolutely.
So, for everyone
Thank
new
you
and
guys.
old, welcome and welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, and I will see you next video.